lures us in, takes us out, because where is the Yester?
Daryl is known for documenting his outdoor adventures with his dogs by his side, spending most of his time camping deep in nature and exploring isolated areas far away from civilization. Over the years, he's experienced strange situations while camping. But this encounter had genuinely left him disturbed. Setting out like normal, Daryl planned to spend several nights in the area enjoying the peace and quiet of the wilderness. But according to him, the previous 2 nights had already felt strange.
I've been woken up by something making some noise in the woods just behind our tent. And it sounds like clacking rocks together. It's second night in a row, around about the same time. It's 2:54 a.m. It's still around about the same time in the same kind of area, and just behind our tent. And yeah, he's gone out there to check out what's going on. She won't go into the woods. And it stopped now. It happens for a couple of minutes, and then it stops. So
his video begins with unsettling noises echoing through the darkness outside his tent. Later, Daryl explains how the sounds always seem to come from the same area of the woods. But what made the situation even more disturbing was the reaction from his dog, who refused to go near that section of the forest, almost as if she sensed something lurking out there.
going back to the start of the video, when I began filming this video, for the past 2 nights, there's been this sound of rocks clacking together. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone hitting rocks together or something like that. And it's just, well, behind the tent here. If you see the Yester, she's actually sitting in front of where the sound comes from. Now, she doesn't go in there. She won't go in there. Both nights, I've woken up to see her awake, and then we hear the noise. She'll come outside and she'll sit there just like that, and the noise is coming from within this area over here. And this is the reason we went out today and went elsewhere, just to stretch our legs, but because she'll sit there all day in front of this area, and this is her, which is not normal for the Yester. You know the Yester, she's always running about hunting, trying to kill something. So that's why we went out today, and I proceeded to, you know, film. As you see, it's nearly dark now. The Yester's still sitting there. So yeah, the noise is coming from within these here woods, but they're very thick. So if we, I don't know if the Yester's gonna, oh, she just follows. Yeah, of course the Yester follows. She goes wherever I go. So I have tried to take a look before. I'm gonna do this now before we lose all light. But the Yester's right with me. Well, as you see, it's so thick in here, it's almost impossible to get in. And the Yester don't want nothing to do with it, which is extremely strange.
Despite the uneasy atmosphere, Daryl decided to stay another night, hoping to capture more activity on camera and figure out what was making the noises. As darkness settled in once again, the sounds returned.
I don't know what it is. I think this is a little fox. Kind of getting too close to the Yester. Where is the Yester? Fucking he's chasing. Fuck. no shoes on. Where's my fucking light? If you guys heard that, the Yester took off. It's just one of those that kind of lures us in and takes us out, because where is the Yester? There's Yeti. Yester, what are you doing, mate? Appalachia, nej, Appalachia. We got something screaming at us just up there and you're sitting there? What's going on? Who's Appalachia?
This time his dog reacted immediately, becoming fixated on something outside the tent, while noises echoed through the trees around them. Whatever was out there had returned. Eventually things quietened down enough for them to settle again, but hours later, at around 3 a.m, the noises suddenly started for a third time.
Well, that's a new one. That was like a big thud just outside the tent. And that was closer than over there. It's been a couple of minutes. Haven't heard anything else, so you know, there's many times I get out of the tent and see what's going on, but I don't think we're gonna do that this time. The Yester is telling me not to.
Daryl trusted his instincts and stayed inside the tent, unable to shake the feeling that danger was lurking somewhere just beyond the darkness. With both him and his dog reacting to whatever surrounded the camp that night, the situation left behind one terrifying question. What was really out there watching them? Kriko set out alone for a solo camp, with no real destination in mind, loading up her bike with gear and following the trail wherever it led her, hoping to find the perfect place to settle in for the night. But before long, the entire trip would take a turn, leading her to abandon camp completely.
I'm looking for a place to stay. I'm just here deep into the forest and I'm gonna stay somewhere and sleep next to my motorcycle. So I'm gonna continue and see if I can find a good spot. I could actually stay there. Oh, maybe, well, that looks good. Here's the spot. Woo! I'm pretty happy. I think we're gonna stay here. And Ada comes here. I will lay next to Ada. We have a fire somewhere here. That's it.
After riding deep into the area, she eventually came across a clearing and decided it was the right place to stop for the night. As she unpacked her gear and began setting up camp, A strange feeling settled in almost immediately.
Oh, it's so good. It's really weird. Weird sounds. I thought it was the wind first, but there's barely no wind here. Let's eat this.
Every sound around her seemed amplified, every snap of a branch pulling her attention back toward the woods. At first, she tried to ignore it, convincing herself it was just nerves from camping alone, but the atmosphere only grew heavier as darkness crept in around her. As the fire crackled beside her, noises began echoing through the trees, subtle at first, but enough to keep her constantly looking over her shoulder. The longer she sat there, the stronger the feeling became that something wasn't right.
Okay, here's the thing. I can feel it in my guts. There's something with this place that doesn't feel right, and there's something is off here. So I'm gonna pack all my stuff and I'm gonna go back. I will talk about it later. I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm just gonna pack everything and go back. Oof. Oh. All right, let's do it. What happened out there is that it was some sound in the forest and some cracking branches now and then, not constantly, but it came and then it disappeared for an hour and then it came back, and especially when I had dinner I started hearing it more and clearer. However you're doing this. Oh, and I didn't like that at all. Then I felt like, no, it's not worth this. I'm not gonna get traumatized for the rest of my life. Yeah. I'm very glad to be out of there.
Rather than risk staying any longer, Kriko trusted her instincts, packed up her camp without hesitation, and left the area behind, later admitting she didn't regret the decision for a second. An outdoorsman known for his hiking and camping videos decided to take a last-minute camping trip with his family, planning to spend a few peaceful nights relaxing together with no intention of filming much at all. But during the second night, the trip suddenly took a terrifying turn and became one of the most dangerous encounters he'd experienced while camping.
What's going on, guys? I need to tell you about a trip I was on 2 weeks ago with my family. This is not a trip I was actually filming, didn't plan to do a video on it. However, it ended up being the most dangerous encounter I've ever had tent camping, and I had my entire family with me. So my wife and I decided to get the kids out. We decided let's go camping on a Wednesday night, Thursday night, at an area that's close. We went to the Rampart Range Road. I'll talk about it here in a second. But what we didn't realize, guys, it was Memorial Day weekend. So we went out Wednesday and Thursday, and even though that's typically not too crowded, because the big holiday weekend coming up, it was extremely crowded already when we got out there. Where everything changed was night 2, guys. So night 2, here's where it is. My family and I went to sleep early, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's my wife, myself, and 3 kids. We also had our dog with us. At 4 in the morning, we get woken up by a 4-wheeler driving by our tent. Now, just so you know, the Rampart Range is where off-road vehicles go to play. On one side of that road, there's trails for 4-wheelers and dirt bikes. You just typically don't have them driving by at 3 or 4 in the morning like this. So, 4 in the morning, this thing just goes by our tent. And we woke up. I mean, it woke us from our sleep, but we laid back down to go back to sleep. No big deal, right? Then about 15, 20 minutes later, and when you're sleeping in a tent with your kids, guys, this is like the worst fear you're ever gonna have, but that 4-wheeler comes all the way back up, and it stops right next to our tent.
At around 4 a.m, the sound of a truck passing nearby suddenly woke them up. Not long after, the vehicle returned and pulled up disturbingly close to their tent. An intoxicated man climbed out and immediately began shouting outside, aggressive, loud, and clearly looking for confrontation. The family attempted to calm the situation and avoid escalating things further.
Come on! Give Mom the phone. No, here, give inside. I should give him. Right? Yeah. No. They're 2 miles away. I know. I could give them a ride 2 miles, Sharon, and they'll be done. Okay? They could hurt you. They're not gonna hurt me, okay? I'll give them a ride. Please don't. They could harm you. Where's my keys? I have no idea. Are they leaving? What time is it? No, Scott, they could harm you. Give me the phone, okay? Let's just stay here.
Hold on. So now that my wife and I are sitting at alert, all we hear from outside is, F this, mother F this, I'll fight every F'er out here, da. Angry, drunk yelling from right outside of our tent, feet away. Now my wife at this point, she says, hey, we've got kids. Just letting them know. We didn't get an apology for, hey, sorry we woke you up, sorry something's going on. All we got is, we got kids too, yelled back at us. And more angry cursing. So my wife and I kind of get up and we're listening to what's going on.
Come on! Give Mom. No, here, give inside.
And these people are arguing and kind of walking right through our camp now. It's 2 people, there's a male and a female. Both drunk and now walking through our camp. And they hear this and turn around and they yell at us through the forest, do you have jumper cables? And we didn't with us, and my wife kind of laughed like, no, we don't, which angered them. So they then turned and came back into camp at us. And there's a male and a female, so I get out of the tent, and I'd moved away maybe 10 feet from the tent to try to pull them away from where our kids are. And my wife stayed right at the door there. So the female came and got right in my wife's face. It's probably 4:15 in the morning now with 3 kids in the tent. We are in national forest, no cell service, just us. The guy, he walks over where I'm standing, and then the gal starts yelling at my wife, F you, F this, and my wife says, hey, you need to move back. She tells my wife, you need to move back, bitch.
But the interaction only became more intense, almost turning physical at one point before the 2 finally wandered off into the darkness, leaving behind their broken down truck. That only made the situation worse. Tension remained high, knowing they could return at any moment, possibly with more people, and with no idea what their intentions truly were. Nobody could relax.
My family was like, they're really drunk and they might hurt you. You don't know what the situation is. Let's not do that. So instead, we have to figure out what are we gonna do, right? So now we have 30 or 40 minutes probably before they come back. And I told my family, I was like, do you think these guys are gonna be happier when they come back from camp? Do we know who's back at camp that's gonna be coming with them? Might they have a weapon or something with them? We don't know, but we do know that they're gonna come back here and get this 4-wheeler within the next hour or so. Now the 2 people who came back were the same 2 that left. There was no one additional. They were just angry and yelling at me the whole time. I tried to let them know I could help. I have lights, I have a lantern, can I help? At which point the guy tried to fight me again. He threatened to put his fists up and ask me if I wanted some. 2 times this guy has threatened to fight me out in the forest. Pitch black forest, middle of the night, no one to help, you can't call on the phone. It's exactly what you don't want to be in as far as situations go, let alone when you have your kids in the car like that. So this guy is like too drunk to even walk up the little bank here. And I said, guys, I'm not trying to fight, but I have a lantern. Would it help if I bring some light and just help you get this thing started? At which point they finally backed off. The tension started to ease a little bit. And they said, yeah, you know what, we probably could.
After another tense interaction later on, the situation eventually eased as the group apologized and moved on. But by that point, the damage had already been done. As soon as the sun came up, the family packed their things and left. knowing the encounter could have ended far differently. An avid outdoorsman set out on what was supposed to be a simple winter camping trip, planning to film a relaxing video sharing camping hacks and tips for surviving cold nights outdoors. But what started as a peaceful evening in the woods soon became something far more unsettling.
Welcome back to another video. Okay, as you can see by the drone footage, I set up the rooftop tent during the day. I am sleeping in here tonight, and I wanted to show you the setup in the dark. If you want a couple of camping hacks for fall, late fall, even leading into winter time, then stick around.
The night began calmly with the sunset fading over the trees as he settled into camp, speaking to the camera and preparing for the freezing temperatures ahead. But once darkness fully took over and he climbed inside his tent, the atmosphere changed instantly.
The information of where I got these from in the description. You guys hear that? Can you hear that? I don't know if you're gonna pick that up on the camera. Can you hear that? That's the coyotes. Can you hear that? I've mentioned that before. Well, I hope they can't climb ladders. They are literally in the field right behind where I'm at. They are so close. I'm sure you picked that up on the camera. Anyways, okay, let's get back to sleeping alone with a pack of coyotes. Well, at least we're up the ladder.
Terrifying sounds suddenly erupted through the woods around him. Coyotes. Not far away either. The noises echoed loudly through the darkness, instantly putting him on edge, as he realized just how close the pack actually was. Tension rose quickly, knowing he was alone in the middle of the woods, surrounded by predators he couldn't even see. Eventually, the sounds faded enough for him to settle back down. But the feeling never truly left. Because once you hear something like that in complete darkness, sleep doesn't come easy. Gaz is known for his outdoor adventures, especially camping trips with his dog Fendi by his side. Many of the places he explores have strange histories behind them, and this location was no different, with locals describing the area as unsettling, almost as if something about it felt alive. As always, Gaz set out, ready for another adventure, but before the night was over, he would realize he wasn't alone out there.
Woo. That's nice, isn't it, mate? Right, I think we should be all right to set up shop now. I think everyone's gone home. Can't hear anyone anyway. Oh, I spoke too soon. Some people up there with a big dog.
After arriving, he found a spot between large rock formations and began setting up camp, while hikers occasionally passed through the area. Everything seemed normal at first, but things started to feel strange when one man walked past and appeared to make a phone call while looking toward his camp.
Some guys just walked past, looked at me with my tent, then picked up his phone out of his pocket, dialed something, did, chatted for a bit and then walked off. Wonder if he's grassed on me. Good job on my owner, isn't it?
Gaz tried not to think too much of it and settled in for the night with Fendi beside him, preparing for the long, dark hours ahead. But once darkness took over, the atmosphere completely shifted.
can hear that. What is that? Doesn't smell like it is. Whatever it is. Sounds like wind chimes. Hear that? Look. It's probably a train in distance. People still out walking dogs and that.
Strange noises began echoing around the tent. Sounds Gaz struggled to explain, while distant voices carried through the rocks around him. Looking outside only made things worse, as he could occasionally make out people moving through the darkness with no clear idea of what they were doing there. The tension continued building throughout the night, with voices outside, footsteps nearby, and complete darkness surrounding the tent. He felt like an easy target sitting out there alone.
Mate, it's nearly 10:30 at night. Two women just wandering about upon the moors. What the fuck?
Eventually things quietened down enough for him to try and sleep. But at 3 a.m, he was suddenly awoken by the sound of screaming somewhere outside in the darkness.
It's 20 to 4 in the morning. And I can hear that. Well, I've been hearing like screams. It's really weird. I don't know if it's some sort of bird or if it's actually someone screaming. It's far away, like. Oh, I'm too tired for this, man. Well, as long as it doesn't get closer, I'll be alright. Well, it's 4:15 now, and I can't get back to sleep.
That was enough. Gaz didn't sleep again that night, and as soon as daylight began creeping through the tent, he packed up and left the area behind, unable to shake the eerie feeling that something about that place wasn't right. Those were some of the most unsettling camping encounters caught on camera. But the real question is, would you stay the night in these situations? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload.